I want it now. Every business sort of stops for Christmas. Is that this is when you can lose market share with people going elsewhere. Stay tuned. Good morning, Minute. Myself, Michael Berger, Mark Novak, special guest Lisa Novak for episode 334. I want it now. This is the time businesses can lose market share or gain market share. Guys, what do we mean?
Definitely. Good morning, everyone, and invite comments as well on this and how you feel about this. You may feel strongly that you need a break. You may feel strongly that you got the shits because you can't get people to do work because they keep blaming Christmas and talking about the date.
It's so true. You know, what I don't understand is from Christmas and New Year just rolls over onto another day. And, you know, it's always funny when people say, oh, we can't get that done before the end of the year, or we can't get that done before before Christmas. It's like, well, hang on, doesn't it just roll over to another day the next day, or does everything just like fall off a cliff?
It is a bit of a time of the year. Everyone sets this like deadline in their head and they sort of pause and they stop. But the reality is the wheels keep turning. People still want things done. You notice all the big corporations that are over. Obviously, there's a lot of staff who take the time off, but then they just find staff who want to work, who need to work, and things keep turning. But you find a lot of the, sole traders, smaller businesses, they just sort of stop and nothing gets done. But the reality is their competitors don't stop.
No, you look at big companies like McDonald's and Woolies, they optimize into this period, and they realize that there's more market share that they can grow into, and there's stuff that they can get done. Whereas you get other operators that are just used as an excuse for not getting shit done. They will not operate. Lisa, you're saying just off air about your signboards.
Yeah, so I've just listed 5 properties, Burge, in the last few days. And I was told by our in-house support that our signboard company is closing today. So what are they closing for? We're still listing property. So, I know, generically most real estate agencies are going to shut down now for a couple of weeks, but there's plenty that aren't. What do I say to my vendors? Or we can't get you a signboard. So what my instructions were to our support department was, well, just you guys got to find me a signboard company that's operating. So what happens then is you end up going off on your merry way with a whole new company
for the whole year.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And that goes for plumbers, your carpenters, your blinds. Even I remember back in the day at Domino's, it was our busiest time because all our competitors are closed. So we gear up. Yep, some staff don't want to work, but a lot of staff do want to work during this time. They may not be going away. They may not have the family commitments.
Absolutely. And you know what, Burge? I had a call from a client the other day. It was actually the daughter of someone who's listed their property with another agency. And she had seen a video that Mark and I did, a segment that Mark and I did on Monday night about, if the market's so busy, then why are so many agencies closing? And she called me and said, that was really interesting. I watched that. But the real estate agency that my parents are with, they've said that they're going away on holidays now for 3 weeks, and there won't be an open home now until the 2nd or 3rd week of January.
I just got the same thing in management in Beacon Hill, Granny Flat, the exact same thing. Their property just is becoming vacant on Christmas Eve. So that comes to another story. You don't end leases around this time. You do it a month earlier or a month later. That's just the first sign of common sense, basically. But then to top it off, you end the lease at that time and then you close. You've got a 100% chance of not renting your property. 100%. That's 3 weeks rent. That's a month mortgage payment. It's outrageous. So they've actually come to us and said, we wanted the chance to be open. You guys are open. So we're changing. And it's that whole thing. It's people want it now. And if you can't do it, they'll find someone who will.
Well, isn't this interesting, right? Because for those of you guys that have just tuned in, we're talking about people who are not able to get stuff done, tradies, companies, whatever it is, whether you're getting curtains made or you want PowerPoints put in or signboards installed, companies that are saying stuff can't get done before Christmas or New Year. People know ordinarily that's a really busy time of year. So just why can't they make sure that they're prepped and ready? Like Australia Post, I had a parcel that urgently had to get delivered. I'd posted it plenty of time, and I've called a week and a half later to say, where is it? Oh, we're busy, in the lead up to Christmas. Christmas Day doesn't change every year. You know that it's busy in the lead up. Get yourself prepped and ready for it, number one. And if it's so crazy busy, why are so many companies and people winding down and going on holidays? Haven't people had big breaks? And listen, guys, this is just our opinions. We're just, tossing this discussion around. Of course, people are absolutely well within their rights to take time off over Christmas, New Year, and spend it with their loved ones, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But, for those people that, maybe tradies or people like that, where it's just red hot busy out there at the moment, real estate agents, it's a crazy market out there at the moment. A lot of people have had a lot of time off this year that they ordinarily wouldn't have.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, yes, for those people who are one-man show, and it is different to them. So we understand that. But it's more to a lot of the larger companies, a lot of larger businesses who aren't a one-man band, who have the ability to ask their staff, like the signboard company, for example, where they've got, say, 50 staff or whatever it is. They could easily go, hey, who wants to work during this time? And be open. Yes, I understand if you're a carpenter, you're a one-man band, you take pride in your work and how you do it. And if you've got the family commitments, it's a lot harder for you. So we get that. Yeah. We're sort of excluding you guys from this conversation, but there are the larger companies who have multiple staff and have the ability to be open, but everyone's just saying, let's just close. But business doesn't stop.
Now, look, let's be devil's advocate. Screw you. I want to spend time with my kids. I've worked hard this year, hard enough this year. I deserve 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
Right? Completely valid. Happens. And
but this happens every year, Mark.
But I get that. But I do also believe, and we always talk about it, about being counterintuitive. Doing while everyone else is sleeping, thriving, pumping, and then when everyone's pumping, then maybe have a little bit of a snooze and take a holiday to be basically the opposite to what everyone else is doing. I think there's a lot of money to be made there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money to be made. But, there are people out there that need breaks, that need holidays, that need that. They're only 3 weeks, 4 weeks or 2 weeks they get off in an entire year.
Well, we're not in.
We've got to do it.
That's right. We're not inhumane either. We also need some time out. But we have also recognised that this year in particular, the market is crazy busy. There is a flurry of buyers still out there. And so it just makes sense to stay open right throughout that Christmas, New Year period. But Burge, just picking up on something that you said before, you have a 100% chance of not getting your tenant or getting your property sold if you're closed.
Yeah.
Okay. And even if the market winds down somewhat over that Christmas, New Year period, you have a hell of a lot more of a chance of finding a tenant or getting your property sold if you're finding the agency or agent that is still working throughout that period of time.
And I always say a lot of people go into business with partnerships because it's more flexible. So why don't one person works 1 December, the other person doesn't? Because I look at it, I think we need to, a lot of people got to change that mindset. It's an automatic shutdown. And they keep telling themselves it's quiet. Year on year, December after December, it gets busier and busier. So people need to adapt. But also the way I look at it through this period of time where I always work, I sort of look at it going, I only have to be half as good because no one else is available. It's like being the only movie on at the cinema. It can be a shit movie, but if you want to go to the movies as the only one on, they're going to go see it. So I think people need to adapt through that And if you have that ability to have someone else work or bring staff on that want to work, I knew all through school I was working all Decembers and I did more shifts. I didn't have to go to school. So I worked double. People want to work. Some industries allow, it's not the industries that can't allow it because it may be quite specialized and you've worked 340 days of the week and this is your 2 weeks off. I get that. But there are a lot of companies that don't, and they just choose to close their eyes.
There are people that will. Let me give you guys an example. We're doing some renovations at the moment, and we actually chose the builder who was able to get the job done by the end of the year. So we'd interviewed a number of people. It was like, can you get the job done by the end of the year? Well, I don't know if I've got enough trades. A lot of people don't want to work or they're too busy. It's like, okay, next. So there are people out there that actually will work and will get the job done for you. You've just got to find them.
Yeah, charge more, people will pay more.
Absolutely they will, to get the job done by the end of the year. Again, I'm not sure what happens because the end of the year is surely the end of the year, but it rolls over to another day. I always think like people feel like the world's falling off a cliff on the 31st of December and then it's reborn on the 1st of January or something. It's like it does just roll over to another day, doesn't it?
Oh, you're leaving a lot on the table. You're leaving a lot on the table. And if you've just tuned in, we're talking about the attitude of I want it now and I want it done, and the typical response of can't get it done before Christmas. And Mel, good morning to you. Michelle, good morning to you. Thanks for your comments.
Morning, guys.
And if anyone else has got any comments or interaction, if you think we should shut down as over a 2-week period or 3-week period, or if you think that I just can't. I'm really just disappointed, and I can't get anything done. I'd love to hear people's opinions on it because it gets me every year.
Yeah, and again, like if people look hard enough to find the agency that's open over Christmas, New Year, we're not all shut. I'm sure we're not the only ones that are open. I'm sure there's other people out there. I'd love to hear from those guys that are in real estate what they're doing, if they're shutting down, and if so, why? Is it because just they obviously want to spend important time with family and friends? Is it because they want a holiday? Is it because their market's quiet in their area? Because ours sure as hell is not. We're flat out right at the moment. So and we're not on skeleton staff. That's the other thing. I don't think there's many of us taking holidays at all over that period of time.
It's COVID. This is if there is an opportunity to claw back profits or loss that you've suffered over this last year, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. Why would you take your? Why would,
good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like you can't cry poor if you've suffered some a hard year. This is the time you pull your socks up, you tighten your belt, and you start optimizing through this next 2 to 4 week period. It's a beautiful time for business.
And when you stand out from the crowd, can you imagine, guys, like if you need, let's say you need an electrician and you call that electrician and say, listen, are you guys able to come and do a job and have it finished by Christmas? And they go, yep, no worries. Do you truly think that you're going to go out looking for another electrician ever again? You're indebted to that person forever.
Yeah, you got to stay. I think, guys, you got to be really careful about this. If you're choosing not to compete, if you're choosing not to operate through that Christmas period, you are choosing potentially losing your clients for the next year or next years ahead, or maybe forever, because they're going to stay sticky. They're going to stay sticky with that hard worker through that period. That's a really good point.
That's right.
Kathleen's made a comment. I'm working through at this time, launching 2 listings this week. The market is great. I'm on the Central Coast. There's so many people here for holidays. That's it. That's
Hi, Kathleen. I hope you're well, Dale. I hope you're well. But there you go. I mean, Central Coast, these areas are absolutely bustling at the moment, like we are on the northern beaches.
That's the time you're going to operate. Everyone's up there on holidays, and we go past real estate agents when we're off and away, and you go, what are you closed for through this period? Central
Coast. When we're around. That's when people have got time. That's when people want to get stuff done as well around their house. Again, tradies, listen up, guys. We get that everyone needs a break. We're all tired, but we've got to make hay while the sun shines. And again, we don't know what 2021 brings. Everyone thinks, that 2020 was the bad year, and no doubt it's come with its trials and tribulations. But, we don't know what 2021 brings. It may be a repeat.
And I always
get shit done.
I always like how people say it's quiet over this time of year, but if you are, I've never worked through Christmas. Go, how do you know it's quiet? And is it quiet because you've stopped working? Or like, how do you know? It's like, well, how are you still doing your prospect? Still doing calls? No, stop. Well, maybe that's why it's quiet, and people just use it.
Is it quiet because you're telling every single person you come in contact with that it's quiet?
But guys, let me just tell you this story again, because I just started telling it before. With this client whose parents are selling their property on the Northern Beaches, they did go with a local agent, and the agent has said, we're closing down now for 3 weeks. It's really quiet. And the daughter saw the segment that Mark and I did on Monday night saying, it's so busy, the market's pumping. You know, if your agent's closing, ask them why, because it is such a busy time of year at the moment. And the daughter had watched this and has gone to the parents and said, didn't your agent say the market's quiet? Because these guys are saying it's busy. What's going on?
G'day, Philip. How you going? Yeah. All right, that's a wrap.
And thank God we're not shut down, and as an industry, and like some of the countries at the moment. So I think this is the time to optimise, because you're right, we don't know what's coming around the corner. So
don't know what's coming around the corner. There's buyers that need us.
Appraisals on Christmas. How good's that? Go.
There you go. See? Go, Amol. But, there's buyers that need us. There's sellers that need us. There's landlords that need us. And there's tenants that need us. And, let me tell you guys, we have families as well. And, we'd love some downtime with them. But at the moment, the market's crazy. The market needs us. We'll be there available, servicing everybody.
Yeah.
And, and we're looking forward to it. No doubt we're also going to be having some well-earned time with our family as well.
And you know what? You do you, everyone. You do
Absolutely.
you.
Everyone's got to do what they want.
Everyone's got to do what they work. What's working for us isn't particularly going to work for other people, but we've talked about the pros and cons, I think, a lot about it today. But some people, you deserve it. Some people, you don't deserve it. And I don't think the anniversary of one day, must force upon us 4 weeks of choosing not to do business, which is some industries.
Perfect.
There are people out there working over Christmas, New Year. Got to find them.
That's a wrap. Thank you. Cheers.
See you guys.
Thanks very much. See ya.